answer some of your questions that way. So if you fill that out. Also, there's a box there that you can check if you would like to receive our complimentary e-newsletter. Every 2 months, my business partner and I write organizing tips in an e-newsletter. She's the techie in the pair, so she talks about using technology as an organizing tool. I talk about organizing your paperwork, your space, and your time. So we've been doing this for a year now and received really good responses from clients, potential clients, networking people that we meet, and we're trying to share with the world our organizing techniques so we can try to help more than one person at a time. So fill out the little pink card and I will collect it. I am giving away 3 tips booklets today, so I'm going to use the pink cards to do the drawing with. I also have handouts that is also fill in the blank. This is going to be a class, and there will be a test at the end. No, not really. And if you want to keep track of the tips and techniques that I'm going to share, then you can fill in the blanks on the form.
Here.
Give you a copy. Hi, welcome. And if anybody has any questions, please just write them on the back. And remember to ask me at the end of the presentation. I am going to go through this rather quickly. I have been doing this for 28 years. Prior to that, I worked in the corporate world for 20 years. So you're looking at somebody that's got 48 years experience doing what we're doing here. So I love managing paper, which most people say they hate. So that's why they hire me. So I teach them how to make it fun. As you see on the handout, I try to make it fun so it doesn't feel so hard and tedious. In our world today, we are dealing with needing to be so organized, especially as entrepreneurs, small business owners. The new word is solopreneurs. If anybody saw the announcement that Ryan put on the website, we were talking about solopreneurs getting organized. And some people have said, what's that mean? Well, you're an entrepreneur, that you're a one-person business. You don't have any employees. Most of us hire independent contractors to come in and help us with different phases of our business. We can't wear 15 hats a day and stay sane. So sometimes we need someone else to help us with some of the work. Especially if we've never learned how to do bookkeeping, things like that. I heard a lot of you mention marketing. If you need some marketing help, get a hold of me. I am a marketing person, so I'd be happy to talk with you about some ideas. My definition of being organized is printed on your handout, and it means being able to quickly find whatever you need whenever you need it. And how often are we looking for the cell phone or the glasses or the keys and things like that. So giving an item a home is something I teach my clients. I've turned inanimate objects into animate objects, and we very often talk to our paperwork, or we talk to our lost keys, and we're trying to make sure that we stay organized and stop wasting valuable time. I hear people say all the time, well, I can spend time on the weekend doing that. As far as I'm concerned, my time on the weekend is double the price of my time at a client. To me, that's the dollar value of my time on evenings and weekends and free time and vacations. We need to put a dollar value on our free time, just like we do when we're working with our clients. We charge them an hourly rate usually. Okay, now, here's the statistic for you. Each person in the United States used 749 pounds of paper every year. This came off ecology.com website. 749 pounds of paper per person. Now, I know some people that probably have that much in their office, all by themselves. And keeping track of that paperwork is part of our being organized project. So I'm going to give you some tips and some techniques that are going to be kind of teasers that will give you a flavor for how I help my clients when I'm working in their offices. First thing I want to do is define what is clutter. And my question is it used? Is it loved? Is it sensible? Is it finished? And do you care about it? A lot of times, the answer is no to each one of those questions. Clutter is the result of unmade decisions. I walk into somebody's office and they're always saying, well, it's in that pile because I don't know what to do with it. So they haven't made a decision, or they just delayed taking action on it. When we go through a pile of papers on a client's desk, I ask them to tell me about each piece of paper, because I need to determine what it is, if it needs an action taken on it, or if it just needs to be filed away. And I hear long stories in the beginning about this one piece of paper at a time, but then it kind of speeds up. And a lot of times the bottom line, a lot of guys in the room, everybody, guys are bottom line people. The bottom line is, a phone call needs to be made, something needs to be purchased, somebody needs to be followed up on, maybe a project needs to be delegated to somebody. So there's an action related to that piece of paper. So determining what that action is helps us to move it off the pile. Being tidy does not mean, and you can fill in the blanks if you have a pen, you can write in the answers on this form. Being tidy does not mean a person or a place is organized. If you're organized, you have systems. Being tidy means you found a place behind closed doors to stuff something. And I very often will walk into an office and wonder why I'm there until we start opening file cabinets and drawers and desks and closets. So being tidy does not mean you're organized. Being tidy means you're tidy. So being organized is the trick, because if you're organized, you can be more efficient, you can be more effective, and you can be more productive, which means that you're not working as hard at your business, and you can have more free time for fun. Clutter, that word just gives me goosebumps. Clutter wastes our time, our energy, our space, and our money. How many times have you looked in your supplies and thought, I don't have any paper clips, now I gotta go to the store and get paper clips or staples, and then you come back and 3 days later you find 4 boxes of them someplace else. Someplace where they didn't belong. Now you've wasted your time going to the store to buy more, and you've wasted your money buying more. I had one client that said she could open an office supply store with the extra supplies that she didn't know she had. Clutter causes confusion, causes stress, it's distracting, and most of all, it causes guilt, because we look at the piles of clutter and go, oh my gosh, I can't even ask a client to come in my office because this place looks like a nightmare. If I came ringing your doorbell tomorrow, would I be welcomed with open arms? Okay? And I hope I'd be welcomed with open arms even if you're embarrassed, because that's why I'm there anyway, is to help. Okay, so I believe that everyone owns $1 million real estate. And I'm not talking about your house or your land. I'm talking about the space where you are working or where you're trying to be productive. I could even be talking about in your kitchen or in front of your bedroom closet. $1 million real estate is anything within arm's reach if you spin around in your chair. Like if you're sitting at your desk, sit in your desk, hold your arms out, and spin around. Whatever gets to live in that $1 million real estate are the items that you use most frequently. It's not for storage. Storage goes further away. So whatever is living in your $1 million real estate, you need to analyze. Am I storing this, or am I using it every day or every week? Examples of things that you use every day is your calendar, your stapler, your highlighter, your pens and pencils. Those get to live in your $1 million real estate. You use them every day. But how about the 43 CDs that are sitting on your desk? You don't use them every day. You might use one or two. They get to live on your desk. The ones that are not being used need to move away. They need to be stored elsewhere, maybe on a bookcase across the room or whatever. Okay, so what I want you to do is when you go back to your desk, you just use your office, go back to your desk and ask yourself the question, what's living in my $1 million real estate right now? Are there things that need to be moved? I asked Ryan that question on the phone and he went, oh my gosh, I need to get a box. Move things out of your $1 million real estate that you're storing. Storage is elsewhere. I also believe that everything that we keep deserves a home. In other words, it deserves a place to live in your office, in your desk, in your file cabinet, if you're going to keep it. Now, a lot of times I find the clients keep things because they don't know what to do with it, so they just keep it. But I help them verbally analyze what they're keeping and why they're keeping it and how they're keeping it. These days, so many people are starting to scan in documents and save them, in the clouds, and save them on CDs, and save them, on their hard drive. There's no need to keep a lot of paperwork right in your $1 million real estate. So I'm going through all the tax stuff and I'm scanning it in because even the federal government will accept scanned documents now as legal documents. All those receipts that we all stuff in our bags and our pockets and our wallets, when we're out, your receipt for coming to this meeting, they're tax deductible items, you need to record them, for your taxes, but you also need to keep them in case, God forbid, you get audited. You have to have a copy of receipts. Just because you charge something on a credit card at Office Depot doesn't mean you get to write it off. According to the IRS, if you don't have a receipt that proves that you bought paper and office supplies, they will not accept that as a tax deductible item. So if you have any questions about that, I recommend that you talk to your CPAs, because my CPA says you gotta have the receipts. IRS will just say, nope, no tax write-offs. So what I'm doing, because so many receipts are on that thermal paper, and it disappears.
Right.
I mean, I looked at my tax backup for 5 years ago, and a lot of those thermal receipts are all white. So if you scan them in, while you can still see the ink, then you've got permanent proof. Okay? Okay, so again, everything deserves a home. Where does your car keys live when you walk in the door? Do they have a home? Yours are probably your purse. No. Some people